Could there be a more complex, fraught conflict than the Israel-Hamas confrontation that has gripped the world's attention? Welcome to this deep dive into the state of affairs 6 months after Israel declared war on Hamas. When the war siren sounded in Israel last October, the world watched in shock as the militant group Hamas unleashed an unprecedented attack. Israel stood unified, backed by allies globally, as it retaliated with a declaration of war. Today, the picture is starkly different. Israel finds itself mired in the Gaza Strip, its domestic front divided, its international standing eroded, and its relationship with its closest ally strained. The shadow of a wider regional war looms ominously overhead. Despite the ferocity of Israel's military offensive, Hamas, albeit significantly weakened, continues to stand. The offensive has plunged Gaza into a dire humanitarian crisis. More than 80% of the population find themselves displaced, over 1 million teetering on the brink of starvation. Yet, an acceptable post-war vision from Israel remains elusive, and ceasefire talks are at a standstill. Let's break down the key takeaways from the first half-year of the conflict. The war was declared in response to Hamas's cross-border attack on October 7th, an attack that claimed the lives of 1,200 people, the majority of them civilians, and led to the kidnapping of around 250 others. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu set 2 objectives: to destroy Hamas and to bring the hostages home. He pledged total victory, but 6 months in, these goals remain elusive. Fast forward to today, the conflict has led to major airlines suspending flights to Tel Aviv, disruption in the aviation industry, and a state of war. Disinformation has also played a significant role in shaping public opinion, with false claims and viral social media posts dehumanizing victims on both sides. So, 6 months into the conflict, the situation remains precarious. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza deepens, ceasefire talks are at a standstill, and the war objectives of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu remain unmet. The Israel-Hamas conflict continues to be a complex, fraught, and deeply tragic situation that the world watches with bated breath. In summary, the Israel-Hamas conflict has evolved from a unified front against Hamas to a complicated situation with domestic divisions, international isolation, and a humanitarian crisis. The disinformation war has added another layer of complexity, with social media being used as a tool to spread false narratives and dehumanize victims. The world watches and waits, hoping for an end to the suffering and a resolution that brings lasting peace to the region. Thank you for joining this deep dive into the Israel-Hamas conflict.